Hi guys, my camera is moving around because our cat Rainy is by my window, and I use the window for natural lighting. So she's gonna be headbutting the camera. It might shake a little bit. Anyway, so Rainy is popping her head in. Say hi to Rain. Today's my first Q&A, and I only have one question, but I figure it warrants a video. So, my writer friend HJ, they asked a question on my Booksy. I have been publishing a fan fiction I wrote from 2015, 2018. And I thought at the time, wow, this is like the best writing I'll ever write. This is so good, blah, 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 blah. But no, but it's gonna be an interesting video. Oh my god. So, my friend HJ, she basically asked how I write the way I do. And I replied to them, but I thought I could do more in-depth reply in a video. And I talked about, in the reply, for me, it was writing and writing and writing until something breaks and your voice appears. For me, this is absolutely true. Writing now, it's very fun to do. I don't question myself. Usually things are one draft, because I feel like, for me, editing, changing words kind of dilutes the character's voice. So for me, in my process of writing, it is pretty much a one draft thing. Occasionally, I'll have a new idea and I'll rewrite something, but for most part, the stories themselves are pretty short. The things I put on Booksy, very short. From 4 to 12 chapters, each chapter maybe being a page, about 400 words. Rain hopped off, so the video is gonna be okay now. But so, if I had to give advice to how I write the way I do, it would be to keep... Rainy, stop that. It would be to keep writing, again, like I said, until you just find the flow. And I know for a lot of writers, when I see on Twitter, they're like, oh, writing's so hard. I believe Ernest Hemingway said, writing is easy. All you do is sit at a typewriter and open a vein. Again, when I was doing the first Jack of Grays in the Sky, it was the first, one of the first really serious things that I'd ever written. For those of you who don't know, I started actually physically writing in second grade when I was 7. I did something called a Young Authors, and I wrote about a cannibalistic pickle who would eat other pickles. The story itself, writing has always really been fun up until I went up to 6th grade. I had this fan fiction thing, kind of a Naruto original thing that would eventually turn into Grays in the Sky. But at the time, I had this Naruto fan fiction thing in my head, and I wanted to basically put that on paper for the first time. I was close to actually pitching it to Cartoon Network as a series. I didn't do it, but it was a serious thought. Instead of writing that, because I was already getting bullied, so I'm like, this is gonna even, have me get bullied even more if I write about anime. So I didn't do that. Instead, I wrote a story called Phone Creep, which combined myself, self-insert, blatant main character, my family, and 2 of my friends, and a few teachers. But that was a mixture of like this really zany kind of story. It wasn't nearly what I wanted to do, and for that I censored myself, which now is something I never do. Despite the feedback I might get, I'm never going to censor myself, which is, I think, a good reason for me to not go with a different type of publishing path. Right now, I guess I consider myself self-published. But I like that because, it's just me. I'm not tied down by a contract. I'm not tied down by what other people think. Anyway, so 7th and 8th grade, I tried to write out what had been in my head for the longest time. And this was hard to do. This was like getting to where sophomore year of high school, I began writing Grays in the Sky, which was really, really, really hard to do. It was probably the hardest thing I'll ever write. The first draft took me almost 2 years, about 22 months to do. And about 1,000 pages later, I had a steaming pile of crap. I had probably one of the worst things I'll ever write, but it was done. And for then, I tried to do like the editing thing. I tried to rewrite line by line. I tried to edit line by line. I just tried to do all these different things, and it didn't work. None of it worked. I still had this really, really just off the wall story. And it had a ton of F-bombs. In Grace in the Sky, I think I have about 60 something F-bombs, 2 from Zidane, about the rest is from Lance. And the first review I got on Amazon, 4 stars, said that, the main character drops the F-bomb a lot, not for 12 plus. So it was this kid reading it, and so I upped the age requirement for to read it. If I could answer this question simply, I know I'm rambling like hell here, but kind of the main point of this channel is to talk about my writing process for people who are interested in it. I don't know. We've gotten some people interested, which is good. If I had to answer this simply, it would be, again, write until something in your process just breaks through. It's like a dam. So you put enough pressure on this dam and it'll break, and then everything will be kind of easy. There's an author that talks about the flow state with writing, and I kind of see this in my own writing sometimes when I'm just, doing my daily word count. It takes a few minutes maybe for the crap to stop and for, again, that river to flow through. So things you actually like writing. Sometimes it's garbage. Sometimes it is garbage. It's part of the art. But again, it's just a different question to answer. With Grazing, it was the hardest thing I will ever write, I think, was that first draft. Mainly because I was so close to those characters in my head. They've been in my head, I don't know, for 9-10 years. When I turn 27 next year, they'll be in my head for about 20 years. This is my life project. I firmly believe I came into this world to write this story, and write in general. But I mean, with Grazing, God, it's always been with me. I'm writing this new story called I Like You, which has been in progress for, since 2019. And even comparing the first chapter I wrote in 2019 in the middle of a break I had in college. And it's the style, here, let me say it this way. If you practice at it, you will inevitably get better. It's like with anything else. You just have to practice and put in the work. Again, and everyone's style is going to be totally different. It's, I've been researching a lot on copyright infringement because my own paranoia with stuff. There's an example I saw with, if 2 people have the same idea, their interpretation of that idea is going to be totally different. I don't know if this made any sense. We're going on 10 minutes with this, but I don't know if I'll ever show the very first draft of Grazing, if I could even find it, because it was just different. It was just so, it had the same storyline as the published version of Grazing, which I will rewrite sometime soon. I mean, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. I'll say it again. You're going to get better if you put in the work. It's like with anything, if you're a baker, you're not gonna go and make, this extravagant cake. You're gonna start something simple. You're gonna start maybe with fudge or cookies or these simple ingredients, and then from then you can build up and say, hey, look at me now, look at me now, look at me now. And every project is going to be different, and every project is going to lead you to more of what you want to get to as far as your level of writing. But even then, it's such a like an objectable thing. It's so much of a opinionated thing of what good writing is, it's really important to note too. If you like your writing, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. If you like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I'll leave you guys with that. Long video. hopefully I can edit this into something, you know, reasonably sensible. Hope that made sense, HJ. Thank you for the question. I will see you guys in our video. Thank you.